Today we're talking about Michael Heizer's Levitated Mass. It was created in 2012. It's basically a rock in a trench, and I find it really fascinating. Here's the basics of Levitated Mass. The stone itself is 21 feet. There's a trench that runs underneath it of about 456 feet, and the stone itself weighs 340 tons. Just getting the stone to the sculpture location took over a year of planning and government assistance. If we talk about art being process-driven, Levitated Mass is like the heavyweight champion of this. But let's move on, because what's really interesting to me about the work is how you approach it and what it does as you approach it. As you walk down the ramp of the trench, the stone becomes bigger and bigger as it's in front of you, and then suddenly it's kind of over you. And when it's over you, this is where things get really interesting, because we have to remember that stone is actually kind of acting like a big heat sink, for lack of a better phrase. So it's absorbing heat and absorbing heat and absorbing heat, but what it's not doing is radiating heat underneath it, because heat, of course, rises. So suddenly, just when you pass under the stone, the entire environment around you cools down, I would say easily 10 to 15 degrees. And you become very aware that you're now under this stone. And it's really kind of fascinating, and it's a little bit off-putting. And then, of course, the stone itself is sitting on these two little wedges of steel with a few bolts put into it. Maybe you spend a moment or two being underneath the stone, and then you're back up the other side of the path, and you're kind of re-entering the world at large. And I highly recommend it. Listen, I get it completely that someone's going to look at this and go, this is just a big goddamn rock. What am I really looking at? You're not really looking at the rock. What you're really doing is having that experience of passing underneath it, and it's really fabulous and really worthwhile. And I think that's going to do it for me. Thanks for listening this week. I hope everything is going great in your life. If you get a chance, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thanks again.